Hola!
Hola.
Lightspeed Spanish, podcast number 24 for early intermediate, and today we're talking about comparatives and superlatives. Okay, then that word isn't about pearls. Superlatives. Not a lot of people know what a superlative is.
So what is a superlative?
It's something that's showing that something's greater than another thing. Yeah, more than another thing. Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
You little tinker. Okay. Entonces, Cintia, ¿qué tal?
Estoy muy bien. ¿Y tú
Ajá.
cómo estás?
Muy bien, muy bien. Noto en el vídeo que tu pelo me gusta hoy. Tienes mucho pelo hoy.
Sí, como especie de león.
No, león no, como tigre o algo. Ujú. Vale, entonces estás bien,
Tigre
¿eh?
despeinado. Sí,
No, peinado.
sí, estoy muy bien.
Sí, bien,
Muy
me
bien,
alegro, me alegro. Venga, so we're talking about comparatives and superlatives. Okay, comparatives first. Comparatives are as. Yeah, when we say as big as this or as small as this. Okay, so we use as, but the Spanish don't have as. They don't use the same word when they do a comparative,
No,
do they?
no.
How does it go?
We say tan, como.
Tan is the first as, and then como.
We say as, like.
Okay,
That's what we say.
as something
like.
like. Okay. So, for example, if we think the basic sentence like, my house is as big as your house. How would that go?
Okay. With these sentences, we need to remember a few things. Sorry, I'm playing with this.
Cynthia's playing with something
this.
she shouldn't, and I've told her already 2 times.
Sorry, I'll put it here.
Okay.
What did you say? My house is bigger than your house.
As big as.
As big as your house. Mi casa es tan grande como, and then we would say the one of yours. La tuya.
Sí. Could you get around that just by saying mi casa es tan grande como tu casa?
Sí.
Yeah. To keep it simple for the moment. Yeah.
Mi casa es tan grande como tu casa.
So tan grande. Okay. What about where we've got a descriptive word in there that finishes with o normally? For example, my house is as clean as your house. How would that one be?
Limpia como tu casa.
Or la
tuya.
La tuya, sí. Okay. So the word limpio has to agree. It's an adjective. Has to agree with casa.
We're comparing houses. We're comparing a house, and a house is feminine, so the adjectives are going to be in feminine as well.
And if you were saying my house is as small as yours, how would that be?
Tu casa, my house is as small. Mi casa es tan pequeña como tu casa.
Okay. So this is how we make a comparison. This is as, yeah? Tan como. Okay. But there's another expression which is not as much as you, for example. Yeah? Or if we do it positive, I study as much as you.
Yo estudio tanto como tú.
Okay.
So that's not as in English. That's as much as. As much as is tanto como.
Okay.
O tanta como.
Okay.
It's for countable.
For countable, yeah. If it's just a general...
No, sorry, for uncountable.
General as much is tanto, yeah? So, for example, I don't eat as much as you.
No como tanto como tú.
Okay. So, this is tanto como, yeah? But then we're using as much, but when we get to as many, for example...
That's for countable.
Countable, yeah. So, if we were saying, I have as many houses as you, how would that be?
Okay, you just make tanto o tanta plural. No tengo tantas casas como tú.
Okay, so because we're talking about casas, it becomes tantas. Yeah? And if we were saying I have as many cars as you.
Because it's always going to be plural.
Yeah.
Tengo tantos coches como tú.
Okay, so tantas casas, but tantos coches. So always that has to agree then. As soon as you get to as many, yeah? But if we're just saying as much, just as a general, uncountable as you say, we use tanto as a default. Yeah? Okay, so that's making comparisons, yeah?
Sí.
Then what about these superlatives then?
Okay.
Greater than, more than. So how do you do the more than?
Well, in Spanish, I think it's easier than in English, because in English you've got the bigger, you've got the two versions. They're either more something or the at the end.
That's right, yeah. So we say bigger, smaller,
yeah, and it
quicker.
depends on the word. We don't have that. We just can't be
What
bothered.
do you have then?
We just say more something, más, or menos if it's less or fewer.
Okay, so just to say bigger, how do you do that?
Más grande.
So it's basically more big. That's what.
More big.
Yeah.
We say more big.
And smaller.
Más pequeña.
To say smaller, can you say menos grande?
That's less big.
Which is effectively smaller, isn't it?
But would you say less big in English?
No.
Well,
you wouldn't either.
You can, but you would go for más pequeña.
Vale. Okay.
I'm not saying you can't. You can,
sure.
but
just the one that's used mostly.
Yes, I would say más pequeña rather than menos grande.
Okay. But then
that's my personal choice.
What if we were saying, for example, so that's so all of our words which are the bigger, smaller, faster, quicker, harder.
Más.
Yeah? Más. Okay.
And then any fewer or less, fewer people or less pollution, menos.
Okay.
Menos.
Okay. And then if we were saying more than,
okay.
I have more than you.
Then that would be más que. Tengo más que tú.
Okay, más que, literally more than.
So more than. Or we say more that.
More that.
That's what we say, más que.
Yeah. Now, is that for everything, or does that change?
We can also say más de, depending on the sentence.
Okay, and what makes you say más de?
Typically with numbers. Más de 5, más de la mitad, más de 40 personas, más de 20 libras.
When you're talking about numbers, typically you use más de. Yeah?
Yes.
And when you go backwards and you say less than, do you say menos de when you're using numbers?
Tengo menos de 20, sí. Tengo menos de 20 libras. Había menos de 20 personas en el concierto. Sí. Menos de.
Does it work menos que as well?
With
numbers?
With numbers?
Tengo menos que 20?
No.
No. So
menos de 20.
Más de going up and menos de with numbers.
Correcto.
Okay.
Another option that I've seen in books when they say más que, no más que, and then numbers, for example. But that means I only. Really. When you say I only have 2 pounds. You could say solo tengo 2 libras o no tengo más que 2 libras.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean more or less. It's just like only. It's not a comparison anymore.
Okay.
Or
it's just stating what you have.
So it really means only.
Okay. So, should we?
Wow. Tiempo.
Time has passed. Yeah. So basically, that's it. So we've got comparatives. Tan como.
Tan como.
Tanto como. Or tantos. como, ¿no?
Mhm.
And then
O
we've got,
tanta.
o tan,
O tantas.
yeah. And then we've got the superlatives, which is just literally más
Más.
grande, más pequeño,
Más que.
or más que, more than. And if
Sí.
it's numbers, más de.
Sí.
Yeah?
Correcto.
Muy bien hecho, Cintia.
Muchas gracias, Gordon.
Sí,
Muchas
very
gracias.
good. De nada, de nada. Ok, entonces, nos vemos.
Y nos vamos.
Adiós.
Adiós.